Yulan Chu, and welcome to another exciting day in our galaxy. And today it's time for another requested video because someone asked for this topic in the comments of one of my videos. And it's a topic that probably most people usually don't have a look at, and that is firing patterns. Some will definitely now ask what are firing patterns, because it is kind of a niche topic for a few players that really go deep into this game. But it is, I must say, quite an interesting topic because it can make a difference for some of your choices. Firing patterns have to do with your ships, of course, and it tells you how often does which weapon of your ship fire. I mean, that sounds very theoretically. So we just have a look at my Corinar for a second. If you go to upgrade, you can see the different weapons. You see that I still need to upgrade one of those. Still lacking a bit more than 1,500 rare gas to do that, to tier it up again. But still I can have a look at the weapon, as you have seen. The Corinar does have three different weapons. It has a phaser turret Mark 7, that's an energy weapon. It has a phaser bank Mark 6, and it has high impact torpedoes Mark 7. And when you just open it, you see damage and armor pierce and shield pierce, but there we are at the part where most people usually never look because they don't even know it's possible. You can scroll down, and there you get a lot more information about the weapon, but you also get some times and shots, because that is important for knowing the firing pattern of this weapon. It has a charge time of 2 rounds. That means this weapon doesn't immediately fire when you start attacking some hostile. And it has a recharge time of 2 rounds, so it doesn't immediately fire again in the next round once it was fired. But when it can fire, it fires 2 shots and not just one. And so if you look at the damage you can cause with it, you will do that twice, because this weapon has multiple shots, as it's called with some officers. That is the point where the restrictions for some officers come in, there, what you see in the brackets in the officer description. Weapons that fire multiple shots only trigger this ability once. And that is because of weapons like this that have 2 shots. And the phaser turrets look a little bit different. They have a charge time of 1 round. That means they can fire every round, and have a recharge time of 3 rounds. So they will fire, and not every round, they will fire in the first round, because the charge time is the time for firing first, and recharge time is for all the next shots. It will get a little bit clearer when I show you a chart later on the Corinar. But when it fires 3 shots. And the phaser bank, I have to go here, has a charge time of 1 and a recharge time of 1, and that was the one I wanted to tell you that can fire every round, because it needs to charge 1 round for the first time it fires, so it will fire in the first round, and then it will recharge every round after, and it has 2 shots. And for this, for each and every single ship, I made some charts so you have an overview about these abilities to get it a little bit clearer. I know the information is out there already, but I thought with having my viewer Discord now, I can do it a little bit more sorted, and I just have to, because it's changing around when I'm opening it, have to go back to the Corinar. Dung, 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 dung. No, that's the Corvus. There are far too many ships in this game. I made 90 charts, because there are at the moment 90 different ships in this game. And here you see it. That's the Corinar firing patterns. I have made it always with 10 rounds. So you can see within 10 rounds when it will fire, it will continue as long as the fight goes on. But there's a limit for what I can get on one chart. And I did it for each weapon. And I put them next to each other so you can see in this round this weapon fires and so on. And with the phaser turret MK7 or Mark 7, you see it fires in the first round, but then needs 3 rounds to recharge. So it will fire 3 times in round 1, but will not fire again until round 4. And the phaser bank Mark 6, that was the one with every round, fires 2 shots every round. And the high impact torpedoes need 2 rounds to charge and then 2 rounds to recharge. So they only fire every second round. And then you know why some battle protocols look like they are, because if you, for example, had no weapon that fires every round, you would have rounds without you firing shots, for example. I have to get out of here again. You can compare it with other ships of that class. If you look at the USS Newton, which is the same class as my Corinar, shipyard-wise, you see that it has more weapons, but it has no weapon that fires every round. So 3 weapons fire every second round, and that means that there are complete rounds where all 3 of those weapons don't fire. And it's set up that the concussive charges are firing exactly in the round when the others are not firing. But it is an interesting comparison you can make between the ships when you are deciding if you want this or that ship next, because people always ask me, what should I build? Should I build, for example, the Newton, the Corinar, or the Pelham? And we take a look at the Pelham. It has 1 disruptor cannon that fires 3 shots every round and has 2 photon torpedoes that fire every second round. And so that can also be, beside the damage and everything else, be a help for your decision. Do I want the Pelham, do I want the Corinar, or do I want the Newton, if you have the choice? For me it was quite clear that I took the Corinar because of the whole game situation I was in. But there was something else you see on all of them. There are energy weapons and there are kinetic weapons. And if you have a ship like this, for example, like the Corinar, where the phaser bank fires every round, that should be something for you if you decide on taking officers that increase your kinetic damage or your energy damage. So you have to have a look at the firing patterns as well, or the amount of weapons of a certain time, for deciding if you take energy officers on your ship or if you take kinetic officers on your ship. Another example for this are most probably the lower faction ships. There were some like the USS Enterprise. It only has energy weapons. So it makes no sense at all to bring a kinetic officer on board of that ship. It's not the firing pattern topic overall, but something that fits in here as well. And with the D4 class, it's exactly the other way around. It only has kinetic weapons, but no energy weapons. So it makes absolutely no sense to put energy enhancing officers on this ship. But in general, what I said about the rounds, the number of shots, etc., that is the topic of the firing patterns. And there will be much bigger ship in the end that will have far more shots per round. The other ones in the beginning only have all 1 shot per round or 1 shot every 3 rounds, depending on the ship. And so it differs. And if we just change, no, not to the refits. If we just swap the ship, for example, to the Monovine, here they are completely named differently, but it's the same The lightning scepter is an energy weapon with a charge time of 1, a recharge of time of 1 and 2 shots. The disintegration beam is a kinetic weapon with a charge time of 1, a recharge time of 2 and 1 shot. And the other lightning scepter is a charge time of 1, recharge time of 1 and 2 shots as well. And so you can go through all your ships that you have. We can have a look at the NX-01, which is the newest ship here, and about its weapon. It's got 4 weapons. It's in the charts as well. The pulsed phasers Mark III have a charge time of 1, a recharge time of 1 and 1 shot, so they fire 1 shot every round, the second one as well. And it has photonic torpedoes Mark II, and they have a charge time of 2, a recharge time of 2, but 4 shots per round. And that's where you have to decide. The damage is not very impressive at the moment. So I have a lot of research to do still, and a lot of upgrading of the NX-01, of course, because it's far away from what my Corinar can do. But those are the interesting points. I mean, it does 12,000 damage. With 4 shots, it does 48,000, but only every second round. And that is the base damage, of course. But you will have to decide on using your ships, and you can do the same with every other ship. There's only one ship in this game so far that doesn't have a weapon at all, and it says on the chart as well. But all the other ships do have weapons, and everywhere you can have a look at them. Look at the Voyager with the photon torpedoes, charge time 1, recharge time 1, 2 shots. The quantum torpedoes, charge time 3, recharge time 3, so they're not firing all the time, but 4 shots when they fire. And those were the special ships now. But if you compare, for example, here I have the Enterprise, the Augur, and the D4. When you decide to go for which ship, that might be of interest for you to look at the firing patterns as well, because the more often a ship fires and the more weapons it has, and if they fire very often, it can be better than another ship. That's why I put all those charts I've just shown you. They are all on my the switch to the Cranchar and to the very high ones, because I made a list of all of them, and that's why I have 90 charts in here. That is the database on my viewer Discord I talked several times about in my videos. Everyone is free to join, and here you can have a look at all of them. And this is the very first one we have. That's the Rialta. It has quite an easy firing pattern for both weapons, and but there's also the one ship. What happened? Or did I leave it out? And then I must have left it out. No, there it is. The ESC Fortunate doesn't have a weapon at all. That's why it doesn't have a firing pattern. But for completion of the whole thing, I put it in here like this, with having no weapon. But the Findra has one again. And so from the very beginning, you can have a look. You see that a lot of the first ones have a firing pattern of 1-1, and it changes with the USS Franklin, for example. So I hope I brought some information for you on this topic, because you can make it more complex, of course. And I know that some people are very into extreme detail, but I just want to give information for the gameplay. If you really want to go into the little bits of into the tiniest bit of calculations and everything, I think that's really something that is not TLDR. You have to read stuff like that. You cannot really properly present it in videos and have people in masses to follow that still. That's why I think such an overview is quite important, to bring the topic as one of the game topics into the minds of everyone. And I hope I found the right balance between detail and information, so that I could give you a glimpse of what's to know about the topic firing patterns. And if you want to add something, of course, as usual, please do in the comments. And if you have questions or further video requests, you have seen that it helps because someone requested this video. I will regularly have a look. And if you just want to say hi and where you're from, you know that I'm also always happy to know where my active viewers are coming from. And if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.